Ready, guys.
Good. Hi, Coach. The first question.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good.
Our first question comes from Steve Popper from Newsday.
Hey, Tom. I know that you said earlier this year that you just want to have a say in personnel, but having been a president before, just wondering, on the whole, seeing the Giannis news today, is there a best practices way you see to build a team when you see these free agents? You can't really plan cap space and things like that.
Yeah, well, I think the system is set up to help the team that drafted the player to keep them, and so there's a big advantage. So it's hard to, get someone to leave, but every player, every situation is different. So you plan for everything. I think being opportunistic is important. Sometimes there's situations that arise, whether it be through free agency or trade. But I think every day that has to be a priority for the organization to seek out those opportunities. And I think when you look at, what's going on in the league, things can change very quickly. And so you work every day with your player development. You try to improve through the draft, and then you have free agency and you have trades. And I think you have to be very aggressive in each area. Sitting back and waiting sometimes is not a good thing.
Next question comes from Rebecca Harlow, MSG Network.
Coach, hope you're doing well over there.
Hey, Rebecca.
Through 2 games here, Nerlens has had your highest plus minus. I know that's a very small sample, but what have you seen from him? Is he doing things to fight for that, keeping that starting role?
Yeah, and again, it's not set in stone, but I like what Nerlens and Mitch bring to the team. They're elite shot blockers. They're great finishers. They put pressure on the rim. And so that's a very important part of our team. And we'll see how it unfolds. And again, starting is not as important as to who's finishing. But I think depth will be very important for every team in the league. And I like the fact that we have 2 quality big men like that really help the team defensively.
Next question comes from Mark Berman, New York Post.
Hey, Tom. I was wondering after, watching film of Game 2, if you noticed something more about Obi's performance and what he did and didn't do correctly. And also, it seemed like a pretty long practice today. Was there an emphasis on dealing with zone defenses and how to attack it a little better than you did the other night?
Well, I think, you're still in training camp. So you'd like to work on everything every day, but that's not possible. So you have to prioritize the things that you want to get in each day. And it's sort of been mapped out prior to training camp even beginning. And then, of course, you have the games, and there's things that the games tell you exactly where you are, and it also tells you the things you'd like to work on. So there are a number of things that we feel we could do better. But I like the fact that, we did come back and get the lead in the third quarter. But I think understanding the importance of playing for 48 minutes and doing the right things is very important. So just concentrate on improvement each and every day. We're not going to be perfect. We'll make some mistakes, and we have to learn from them. And that's what we're trying to do.
Next question comes from Brian Mahoney.
Hey, Tom. I know it's a players' league, but I think looking at this season, a lot of people would say with your success in this league in history, you're probably right now the best thing the Knicks might have going for them. Are you kind of okay with that as a coach that, we got to build just with me first? And is there sort of is there a pressure on the coach a little bit that he is sort of the best thing he has going for a franchise in the beginning?
No, I don't look at it that way. I think, the thing that's appealing for me is that the great challenge that this job is. And I like the guys that we have. And, you don't do anything by yourself. It's the group, and it's the front office, it's ownership, it's the players. We're going to need everyone pulling in the same direction and doing everything we can each and every day to improve, and that's what we want to keep in mind. And I think at the end of the day, we all really only answer to ourselves. Only we know if we're putting everything we have into something. And I think when you do that, anything is possible. And so if we keep concentrating on the improvement, we will get better, and we will see good things in the end.
Next question, Mike Borkanoff, The Athletic.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Mike.
A lot of the talk with RJ coming out of last season and into this year was just about his jump shot, and improving that. And I think he said as much, and previous coaches and staff and all that. Do you see a difference with his jump shot so far this season in form and not just the results?
Well, I think, like with most players, the long layoff, he had a lot of time to work on his shooting, and I think he did. I think he's got the benefit of having a year under his belt now. So there's usually a case where most young guys will improve if they're diligent in their work. And I think we're seeing that. He's worked hard on a lot of different areas of his game. And so I think we'll see him continue to grow because of the way he approaches it. But he can play well without shooting well. There's a lot of other things that he can do. And I like the way he's mixing it up. He scored a number of layups off cuts. He's running the floor a lot better. He's moving without the ball. And then I think he's gotten a lot more confident in his shot preparation. And when he takes good shots, he'll have rhythm. And that holds true for the entire team. So we're stressing the importance of rim reads. And when you drive the ball, if there's three guys on you, hit the open man, make the extra pass. And when you do that, you usually get better shots.
Next question comes from Steph Bondi, Daily News.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, Steph.
Going back to the roster building, you've seen it through the league over the years. Stars want to play with stars, and you saw how much, I'm sure as a Team USA coach, how much they enjoy playing with each other. With that being said, how important is it to get a star on this roster? Whether, you brought up the different avenues together with the draft, free agency, and trades, and how important is that just to build a base for building this roster?
Well, I think it's critical. I think when you look at every team in the league, particularly the playoff teams, and there's a lot of different paths to getting stars, and sometimes it's the development phase. I think when you look at Jimmy Butler, when he came in, he hardly played as a rookie. He played more each year, and then he's become a top 10 player in the league. So it's a testament to his work ethic and how he approached things. So some guys continue to get better year after year. Sometimes you have to do it through trade. Sometimes it's free agency. But I think you have to be very aggressive in seeking out those opportunities. They just don't happen by accident. You have to make them happen.
Our last question comes from Mark Berman, New York Post.
Hey, Tom. So again, what could Obi learn from his second game?
And probably the biggest thing about being a pro is there's going to be ups and downs. It was probably a little easier the first game. The second game, he had more attention on him. He can play well without shooting well. Again, he can score a number of different ways. He can score running the floor. He can score in the post. He can score off the drive, and he can score with his jump shot. So mixing it up, scoring different ways, playing well defensively, trying to get stops, get into the open floor, that sort of thing. But he's a terrific kid, great worker. Study film. Each game, you may not win, and if you don't win, obviously that's what you're trying to do. I want you to learn, and so I think that's he took a hard look at himself and what he could do better, and he came in, he studied, and he worked hard, and he had a great practice today. And just be ready for tomorrow. The games keep coming. You have to keep getting better.
Thank you, Coach.
Yep, thank you.
Standby for Nerlens Noel.